Hey guys, welcome back to the fourth part of our seminar series on exit strategies. And today we're going to be talking about reviewing your failures. Being strong and analyzing your weaknesses is the tagline today. And the reason why that's important is what we talked about yesterday is to review your success, to just review the process, see what made you successful, see what the process in which all the steps you had to take to persevere, the positive things as far as what you had to do, the things that you had to do to reflect on, to see what it took for you to get to the place that you were. But in there, you can't persevere, you can't get past setbacks if there first isn't a setback or a failure of some sort. People don't like that word failure or setback, so whatever term that we want to use, if you review some of the things that set you back, the things that you had to persevere through. So if you didn't reach your goal, if you quit, if you succumb to some of the temptations or some of the negative thoughts that were coming through your head, we don't even need to have this discussion because you didn't reach the finish line. But if you reach the finish line, if you reviewed your successes, if you reviewed the things that you have to persevere through, if you reviewed the things that you did right, accompanied with that are going to be setbacks, things that you might have failed on, things that you had to persevere past. And it's really important to look at that, because I'm telling you, one of the hardest things to do, whether it's in your fitness life or any part of your life, is to look at things that you struggle with or look at things that you perhaps failed at. But there can be tremendous power in that. There can be tremendous power in looking at the things that you did fail at or have setbacks on, because you can learn a tremendous amount from that. You can learn patterns based on what you're doing. So for instance, if you find that a pattern is, I'm just using an example here, if we're looking at learning from your failures, let's say that whenever you get bad news, whenever you get in an argument with a spouse, whenever your boss yells at you, you get depressed, and therefore to comfort that you have this need or desire to go out and eat, or you have this trigger that whenever this happens that you go out and do this. That's important to know, because a lot of times people get caught in this situation where something bad happens, and either the next thing they know they've eaten bad, or they just don't care and they're like, I want to feel good, so I'm going to do this, and that's going to get me past that point. Well, you can make the setbacks a lot less drastic. You can persevere much easier if you minimize the failures or setbacks as much as possible. So it's very, very important for you to review what you struggled with, so you know some of your danger parts, some of your traps, some of the things that hold you back. I know that for me personally, one of my setbacks or my problems is I love NFL football. So on Sundays, I want to eat. I want to eat during the football games. So because I know that, now if I wasn't very tuned into my goals, tuned into my progress, tuned into my successes and failures and all that, I would get to Sunday and I'd be like, I'm just eating, or I'm just doing this, or I'm just doing that. Where I know that that's something I like, and I embrace that. So I look at that and I say, okay, I'm going to plan my week around that, because I know that's one of the things I struggle with, and I want to enjoy it. I'm just not going to enjoy it as much as I normally would. I'm going to monitor my calories. I'm going to set up my days previous to that, cut my calories short on previous days, so when I get to the Sunday, I can enjoy it. But, as we mentioned, it may be an emotional thing. You may know that a certain trigger happens where, okay, this happens, and then I feel this way, and then it ends up triggering this. Or, whatever it may be, there's a lot of different circumstances where it could be a bad workout, it could be, just emotional problems or feelings with other people that cause certain things to happen. The biggest thing is that generally what will get people off track is when there's an emotional trigger somewhere that then spirals them out of control. And before they know it, they're either out of control or they just don't care and they're like, screw it. So it's a lot better for you to especially what we talked about yesterday, journaling what you're doing. Because if you're honest with yourself, if you see these are the areas that I struggle with, it's really, really difficult to look at the things that you struggle with. It's very tough, because a lot of times there is guilt and condemnation and all these things that will come upon you when you look at what you're doing. But if you believe rightly, if you believe in the good stuff about yourself, if you believe that you are righteous and that you are a great person, which we believe all of you are, then you won't feel guilty or condemned. You won't feel that you're a bad person. You're simply looking at it as, this is what I struggle with. These are some of my struggled areas, but I need to identify and know that so I can easily get past that. And the reason why it's important is when you get to that point in the future on your goals, let's look at two scenarios. Scenario one, you don't identify it, you don't journal, you don't analyze where your weaknesses are. Then all of a sudden you get caught into this thing. Before you know it, you feel bad, and you're like, and you go down this pattern where it's me, I'm bad, I feel bad, and I don't feel good, so I'm going to do this so I feel better. The other step is if you understand that you're a great person, if you understand that you're not this bad person because you have this thought or this thought or this thought, and you simply have struggles, and you've journaled what your struggles are, then when you get close to that, or you start feeling a certain way, or you start having an argument with somebody, or a difficult time in this or this or this, you can identify it quickly. The light bulb goes off, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that because I focused on my weaknesses. I know what they are, and this is where they are. And when this happens, this is what I need to focus on, or I'm going down this road. This is the road I'm going down. I'm getting close to that point. And you've identified that, so when you can identify that, you've got all of these, things at your arsenal, these tools in your tool bag that you can look at that and say, no, that's not true. It's not true because this is true. Or that's, I've had this struggle in the past, but I'm dealing it with in this way. So I know it's a little bit drawn out, but the point is review your struggles. Review what you're struggling with or the difficulties that you have. Because if you can do that and realize that you're a great person and they're just simply things that you struggle with, you can use those experiences to help you in the future so you don't struggle with those things. Or if you come to that place where you may hit a setback, where you have the tools at your ability to get past that. And it's also very important to talk to coaches, to have support groups, to talk to other people about your weaknesses. So it's not just you. So you have other people to lift you up and encourage you. So when you get to those difficult parts, you can call your friend, you can talk to your coach, you have your support group where you can say, oh, I'm starting to feel this way. And then they can say, oh, remember this over here. That's not true. And this is what we've identified that you have to do to get you past that point so you can keep going on, so you can keep persevering, so you can keep down that path that's going to lead to you reigning in life, reaching your goals, and having a very joyful life. So I hope that helps you. I hope that makes sense on why we want to actually analyze and review some of the things that have set us back in the past. And I look forward to joining us in our next part in this exit strategy seminar.
When you feel that something's wrong, I'll shelter you and keep you warm. I'll never let you walk alone.